Never settle for anything less than your optimal life.
Ultimately have to love what you do. There are going to be points, no matter what you pursue, where entrepreneurship is going to get very tough. And the only way you're going to get that perseverance and make it towards that road of success and thrive is if you love what you do.
Always identify your passions. They are the base of any future prosperity you achieve.
This is the How to Quit Working Show. Jeff Steinman believes entrepreneurship is the only true path to freedom. That's why he created the How to Quit Working Show, where you'll hear stories, insights, and inspiration from lifestyle fanatics who left their soul-sucking 9-to-5 job forever. Now, here's your host, author, entrepreneur, and ultimate lifestyle fanatic, Jeff Steinman.
Hello and welcome to the How to Quit Working Show. Wow, we've got something really special today. We're going to be talking to Mark and Michael Guberti, the teenager entrepreneurs. And I mean, these guys just really they've just really got it together at an extremely young age. And they're just so inspiring, and I cannot wait for you to hear all of the amazing things that they have to say. They've got figured out before they're 18 things that I think many people probably on their deathbed haven't figured out yet. I found this to be just hugely inspirational. I'm very excited to share the great stuff from Michael and Mark Guberti with you. Before we get into that, go over to the How to Quit Working group on Facebook. We have got such a great community there. I mean, the interaction just gets more and more every day. We have had, probably this past week, more people join the How to Quit Working group on Facebook than we have any week in the past. So don't miss that. Go to howtoquitworking.com/group, click on join group, and jump in the conversation with people who are just like you, who are working a job and they want to quit that job and start a business because they believe that entrepreneurship is the only true path to freedom, which is what I believe, and it is what you deserve. Before we get into the interview, I just want to remind you that if you do join the Facebook group, there is the group settings are such, and we have validated this with a couple people in the group, the group settings are such that no one can see anything that you post in there. No one can see that you are a part of that group. So if you have concerns about your coworkers knowing that you are in a group called How to Quit Working, which is completely understandable, rest assured that they will not see that. Nobody else on Facebook will know that you are in the How to Quit Working group unless you tell them. So go to howtoquitworking.com/group and join us. Now let's jump into this great interview with Michael and Mark Guberti. Michael and Mark Guberti, welcome to the How to Quit Working Show.
Thank you, Mr. Steeman. We're honored that you had us on.
Happy to be here. I found out about you guys through your website, teenagerentrepreneur.com, and I just had to have you on the show because I think it's so cool and so inspiring what you're doing. Before we get started, tell our listeners how old you are.
I, Michael Guberti, am 18 years old.
And I'm Mark Guberti, his brother, and 16 years old.
So pretty young. So not only are you really young entrepreneurs, setting a record for the youngest ever guests on the How to Quit Working show, by the way, and the first ever brother or sibling pair ever had on the show. But not only are you entrepreneurs at a very young age, you are working to inspire other young kids to be entrepreneurs. Tell us a little bit about how did you get started in this? When did you guys start as entrepreneurs yourselves?
Well, we got started because our mom introduced us to blogging because we wanted to have something to do in the summer. We were really bored with all the different things. I mean, there weren't really that many things to do, so we decided, okay, let's create blogs, see how this journey can evolve. So my brother and I wrote blogs every single day about the Mets and the Red Sox, and then we wanted to know how could we get more traffic. Then we turned to social media. We became very successful on it and created multiple blogs at the point now where I have my blog, which is focused on digital marketing, and my brother has a blog focused on motivation. And now that we're successful and we have our thriving blogs and we have our business Teenager Entrepreneur, we were thinking, how could other teenagers be like us and become very successful? So that was the inspiration behind Teenager Entrepreneur. And ever since, we have just been going around sharing the message to the youths around the world that age is not a limit to success.
Amazing, amazing stuff. Now, how old were you when you started your blogs?
Well, for me, I was in around 7th grade, so I'll guess 13 or 14 when I started.
Okay. And Michael, what about you?
At the same time, except in a higher grade, I would say 8th or 9th grade, and probably, again, 13 or 14 years old.
Okay. And you started blogs about sports, right? So tell us, like, why did you pick that? Of all the things that you could have done, you started blogging about sports. Why sports? Why not anything else?
Well, for blogging, you typically start off by doing something that you enjoy, because you never want to view blogging as work. The only way you're going to be successful as a blogger is if you have fun writing the blog post. So I wasn't going to choose a topic that I'm bored with or I have to do an intensive amount of research in. I didn't want blogging to be just another school assignment. I wanted it to be something I would want to do as my free time, recreational. So baseball at the time was the main thing I really wanted to write about. And now I write about digital marketing based on what I've learned, and I enjoy writing blog posts to this day. It's not something where I think about, I gotta write that blog post, just another assignment, just another duty. It's something that I actually enjoy to do. So we started off with sports because we enjoy sports, and then that evolved into what we have done today.
Okay, so what happened to your original blogs? Do you still maintain those?
Well, we don't really maintain those original blogs as much because our main priorities and goals in life have been changed. We went from wanting to just like write for fun and write about sports to still writing for fun, but now writing on a larger scale where we can impact and elevate the lives of others.
Excellent, excellent. Now, are you both still in high school?
I'm a freshman undergraduate in college. My brother is a junior in high school.
Okay, so you both have pretty busy schedules outside of your businesses, right?
Yes, quite very, very busy if you factor in homework and extracurricular activities.
And I'm a junior in high school, so that alone.
Yeah, lots of fun stuff to do a lot of things to distract you from a business when you're a junior in high school, right?
Yeah, you never realize until you actually hit the bump.
So what made you decide to, I mean, I understand you started a blog because, seemed like a good idea. You wanted to start about something that you liked, which I think was such a great idea. And so many, older people don't think about doing something based on what they like. So what a great way to go there. But how did you then decide, what made you decide at such an early age that you wanted to inspire other people and elevate other people? Because I love how you say you like to elevate other people. Tell us about what made you decide to do that.
Well, when we were blogging about these baseball teams and learning to promote this, we ended up collaboratively asking the question, is there a deeper meaning we could ascribe ourselves to? Because yes, we were talking about baseball and we were discussing the various team options and player trades and such like that. But is there a more impactful presence that we can develop outside of the summarizing nature of what I previously described? Is there a way to actually elevate as opposed to strictly informing? That was the next level we wanted to get to.
It's interesting because I've studied a lot of success principles, and I consider myself somewhat an expert on what makes someone successful. And one of the patterns that I see is that when people achieve a certain level of success, whether that's financial success or career success or whatever it may be, they then turn, in other words, personal success, right? So when the person achieves success for themselves, their priorities really quickly shift to wanting to help other people, and their whole reason for being becomes about helping other people. And you guys made that shift so early in life. And I'm just, I've never heard of anybody kind of just really being so intensely focused on helping other people at such an early age. Any thoughts on why is that?
Well, I mean, in retrospect, yes, it's a fairly large jump that we took, but is there any higher life form to live than helping another person? Some have put it this way: you can only feel so good by yourself. I mean, by touching the lives of others, that joy that you see emanating from them imprints itself on you only through the effort you put into your initial activities to actually bring them to the next level.
Was there a moment when you said to yourselves, I think I got to make a shift here?
Well, initially we were just writing blog posts and really not thinking much of it at the time. It was just a hobby. But the real inspiration was I started to learn, because I wanted to get my blog more traffic. And then I saw all these experts, and I was amazed with all the advice that they were offering for free. Like, there are so many people with social media blogs and digital marketing blogs and I read a lot of those blog posts, so I was able to learn my knowledge that way and through a combination of other methods. So I was amazed with how much these people were actually helping me through my journey. So I decided I have to pay it forward, and that basically set the whole tone for my brother and I as we created businesses and products together.
Why don't you just play video games?
Well, I play video games still, so I'm waiting for that Super Smash Bros. Game coming out in November, so I still play them. I do that during my downtime now. The real difference is, the reason that we play video games is because it is fun, it is something we enjoy, but in retrospect, so is blogging. For me, blogging is something that's also fun, and blogging is something that I also enjoy, and although it's not like as clear as a video game, you could also kind of level up in blogging with traffic and similar things as well. So it's something that we like to do on our downtime, and we just really enjoy them. I think that I also enjoy, and it's a lot of fun for me. So they're very similar, which is why I like to blog. So I still play video games since they're fun and I enjoy them. But now that blogging has the same qualities, I write a lot of blog posts as well. And in video games, it's more clear, but with blogging and digital marketing, it's also like leveling up. Like, you get more traffic. That's like, in my comparison, like leveling up in a video game. So I kind of use that psyche to really motivate myself to just see it as one big video game, because that actually really helps me be very productive. It may not work for all people, but it works very well for teenagers like myself.
Interesting. But now the other people that go to the other kids in your high school or in your school or, among your peer group, I'm guessing that they're not doing the same things that you are.
That would be an accurate estimation.
So how does that affect your social life and how you interact with them, and how you interact in your social circles?
Well, it is a bit more of a challenge, because while people are just going on the train and talking and like they could talk late, I have to get home and obviously do work for my business. But that's why I'm also on the cross country and track team, so that's how I'm able to interact with people. So I'm not one of those types of kids who interacts with every single person in the school. I have a close-knit group of people, and that is how I'm able to get the social life in with all the work.
Excellent. Do you find it challenging to find things to talk about, things to bond over with your friends?
Well, it depends on where the conversation is going. Most of the time, we just talk about track, cross-country, days in school. But I can't really go into like social media and digital marketing the way like I could do so on podcasts like this one or anything else like that.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about with your sports blogs that you initially started. How did you do anything to monetize those?
Well, we didn't really do anything to monetize those sports blogs because there's advertisement options like AdSense and Word ads and affiliate options. So we didn't monetize them in the beginning just because we wanted to get used to it, and we also really didn't know how at the beginning. But now we promote our products on our blogs. We never use advertisements. We don't believe in them just because advertisements they're just stuff that get in the way, and you lose like a potential visitor for 4 cents. So it's not really a good trade-off.
Okay. So you, with your online business and your online presence, you don't believe that the trade-off of showing an ad to a visitor is worth the potential of interrupting them. And I think that really kind of gets back to the fact that your website, like Teenager Entrepreneur and your other websites, are really more about having an influence on people. You want to keep the focus on that influence. Is that accurate?
Yeah, because the advertisements can be really distracting. And like most of the very successful blogs either have no advertisements at all, or there are those big blogs with giant presences and the ads are all the way down at the bottom.
Sure. Excellent. Are your parents entrepreneurs?
Well, our mother is exceptionally entrepreneurial. She and I say that in the sense of not only the business-related definition, but inspirational. She is so uplifting. It's really where it came from. We are apples that fell from her tree. She is so wonderful in empowering us with positive principles to make a real and noteworthy and positive difference.
Do you have any other siblings, or is it just the two of you?
It's just the two of us.
Okay. So give us an example, because we've got a lot of folks out there who are listening now, and let me explain the situation. So a lot of the folks that are listening have kids, and maybe kids your age, maybe kids younger, maybe older, and they found themselves going down a path exactly like I did, down a path of working a job, going the corporate route, doing that whole thing for a lot of their life. And they've decided that, no, that's not really what they want out of life, and they want to make a move towards entrepreneurship. And, that gets hard. As you get older, it obviously gets more difficult. You got more roots put down, and it's, harder to learn things, and you've got your mind in a whole different place. But I also know that those folks want their kids to know that there's other options out there besides working a 9-to-5 job for somebody else. It sounds like your mother's been very inspirational to you, and I hope that she hears this podcast, and I hope that she understands what an amazing service that she's done, not only for you, but for the world and all the people that you guys are going to inspire throughout your lives, which are there's so much of it left.
Yeah. But
tell us a little bit about what has she done that other parents could model for their kids?
Well, if you look at the overall parental paradigm, a lot of it can either be black or white, in that you, as a parent, have the option, should you choose, to force everything on your kids. I mean, give them no free will, no free reign, and often what happens is those are the very kids who can't wait to get their license because they have an escape from the life that is their caged existence, which is not what you want in a parent. What you want is the suggestive guider, the suggestive shaman is a good way to put it. You want to, yes, introduce them gently, but then have enough belief in them and care enough for them to let them make their own choice in life.
Mark, anything you want to add to that?
I feel Michael did a really good job at summing up, because our mom's been really there for us the whole time. When we're having a bad day, she's just always there by our side telling us that it's all going to be okay, and it typically ends up being okay.
That's amazing. Now, when I was a little bit younger than you guys, I have a brother as well, and what we used to do is we used to take our shoes and we would grab it kind of by the heel and we would beat the hell out of each other with our shoes. Do you guys ever do anything like that?
Never.
Do you get along really well?
We do. This business would not function if it was otherwise.
Speaking of the business, tell us a little bit more about Teenager Entrepreneur. What do you guys do in that business?
Okay, Teenager Entrepreneur elevates the lives of others by doing a few things. First, we teach you to identify your passions in life. What are your drives? What are your deepest desires? Because if you really think about it, that's going to be the root of any human ambition you take or anyone else has ever taken. It all started because of a love for something. And that emotion is quite powerful, as human history has described, because it is the basis for any huge project or success in the life of another person. So we teach you to identify them, get rid of the murky uncertainty, and bring in some clarity. That's the first thing that we do. The second thing in this formula, as I call it, is we teach you to package those passions into products. So yes, you have the intangible desire, but now let's make it manifest. Let's create different online and physical items that you can then offer to the world to elevate not only yourself in the creation of these things, which, let me tell you, is a very self-introspective process, but the acquisition of these items by other people. So that's product, which is the second of 4 P's in our formula. The third is promote, because you can have the best products, the best services, but if no one knows about you, you can't help others. I mean, the toils to create this should bring forth positive change in others. And to do that, you have to be known and you have to promote yourself. That's the third pillar. And fourth, obviously, is propel, where you must adopt and reinforce over time. This is not a one-time thing. This is continued inspiration and, frankly, education, as it should be, where we solidify the motivational mindset you will need to continue your success.
Wow. And how do you do that? What's the method in which you do that?
Well, through varying amounts of introspective activities that we provide, not only in person but online, we allow you to tap into perhaps your past, where a lot of your roots and goals and desires lie. Perhaps your future, which you're not yet encountering because you're in the present, obviously, but what do you aim for? That'll tell you a lot about how your mind is structured, and it's a mindset, I believe, that you must have to be successful. And that is what we help you. We do various different reflective and introspective activities to find your passion, which again is the base for your success.
Awesome. Mark, anything you want to add to that?
I'm all right. Michael did a really good job at it. He's feeding me to all these things.
Well, I think that what you're doing is amazing. Now, do you normally do that for other teenagers, or do you do that for adults as well?
We do that not only for teenagers, we do that for adults. It's very interesting that the adults who attended our boot camp, our Teenager Entrepreneur Summer Boot Camp at Fordham University in this past July, really expressed a deep interest in wanting to come. They persisted in getting a spot in our boot camp. So yes, we teach teenagers, we teach adults, and we are also in the process of teaching younger kids, not only teenagers, but below that age.
Wow. So tell us a little bit more about some of the lives that you've impacted. I know on your website there's some amazing testimonials. Tell us about a couple of your favorite success stories.
Okay, well, I will reference them only to where their privacy is protected, obviously.
Okay.
So one student, Matt, he has, as it turns out, a grandfather who has a fair amount of Coach belts that he never knew what to do with.
How old is Matt?
Matt is about, as I recall, 16 years old. Thank you. 16 years old. So we taught him, among, in the formula, passion, product, promote, propel, one of those things was, use the assets you already possess. He had a grandfather with a supply of quite a few Coach belts, which, as I figured out during evaluations for Matt, are fairly valuable. So we talked.
You mean like belts like you wear to keep your pants up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And the ones of a particular brand that is quite popular. If I were to remember it, I could tell you, but I don't have it on my head at the moment.
Okay.
But we taught him how to set up, an eBay account, how to get those well lit, well pictured, describe them well, use marketing lingo that would make someone more attractive to buy them, even if they knew nothing previously about the product, as well as, we could tell you what to do, but why are you going to do it? That's a driving factor. That's the reason. And it could have been, I just want to get this stuff out of my garage, but we made it more that all or certain amount of the funds, and I can't disclose everything, would go to a certain charity that Matt is related to.
Mm.
And, well, he's one example of the other students that we had.
Awesome. Mark, do you have an example you want to share?
Well, one of the examples that I would like to share is one of a girl named, I'll protect privacy, Tosia.
Tosia.
Yeah, she is an inspiring author, and we empowered her with the knowledge she needs to write books and publish them out to the world. And she is in the process of writing one of her books, and we've been keeping in touch with her.
That's amazing. How old is she?
I believe she's 11.
Wow. So she's writing a book, and she is probably going to publish it on Amazon, right?
Well, among the options that were presented to her, yes, that could be one.
Excellent. Amazing stuff. Now, Mark, you're already in college, right? I'm sorry, Michael, you're in college.
Michael.
Excellent. And Mark, do you plan to go to college?
Yes, I do plan to go to college. I know that some people at this point would leave college. I know, Steve Jobs left college. I know Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates also left college. But I do want to see if I could possibly run in college and then see if I want to really stay in college. Because I believe that, I could possibly, I know I'll get more time by not going to college, but since I definitely want to go to college, I want to see what can I learn in college that actually applies to business. So I may take up courses in college that teach me how to code. So maybe I could possibly code an iPhone app or something like that before I turn 20.
That's probably pretty doable.
Yeah.
Michael, what are you majoring in?
Well, in the wide range of business majors offered to you, I am currently surveying the available options, but I would imagine, you know what? I really don't know because I have not had all the classes yet. Like, you can't decide whether or not you're going to do information technology if you haven't had a class in information technology.
Okay. Sure. It's about kind of dipping your toe in and figuring out what you like and what you don't like. Well,
I agree with that.
Yeah, and I know everybody has to follow their own path, but I've had a number of successful entrepreneurs on this show who are much older than you, and one of the questions that I love to ask is, what did you learn in college that has been helpful to you in business? And typically the answer that I get is practically nothing. So I would just ask you to remember that and maybe listen to a couple episodes of the show and consider that. But everyone certainly has to do their own exploration and make their own decisions and figure out their own path.
Going back to your point about the colleges, we've already advanced to where we are without going to the colleges. It's insane.
Exactly. I think that college as we know it is a broken model, and I would love to see you guys spend those total of 8 years, at least, if not considerably more, fixing the college system or figuring out a better way to help people get the education and knowledge and the information that they need. Because I think you guys are really onto something. You're talking about helping people to identify their passion and figure out how to monetize that and how to create a business and a life that they absolutely love. And this is a whole, I think what you guys are doing is you're spearheading a whole new way of living life. Entrepreneurship is only one tenet of this whole new idea that millennials and younger people have about how the world really should work. And it's more, there's a lot more to it than that. But I think that the idea of settling for less and settling for doing something that you don't enjoy and doing something that doesn't have any purpose to it and that doesn't contribute to the world is just an old model that hasn't worked. And your generation is changing it, and you guys are at the forefront of that change, and you're leading that change, and I hope that you take that responsibility as seriously as it really is.
We'll definitely bear the mantle with pride and honor.
Excellent. Tell me about what is next for Michael and Mark Guberti.
We are launching online training, which encapsulates the Teenager Entrepreneur Boot Camp lessons and teaching held at Fordham University this past summer, as well as in the future other forward-thinking universities that go along with the theme of that you previously mentioned, not working for someone, but making your own influence and eventual difference in the world. We are going to offer that training on how to go through the 4 pillars of our program: passion, product, promote, propel, and line, to those who couldn't make it because of distance. And it's not an enjoyable experience when you have to turn down a registrant because they're not close enough. A problem we are solving by this online training that we can then offer to those who wanted to come this year and those who will want to come in future years, even if they're not in the same state, in the same county, and country. So we can just really broaden the scope of our education around the world even further.
Amazing stuff. Where do you guys see yourself in, let's say, 10 years?
Running a incredible cluster or one singular company to further enact in the theme and sentiment of elevating others.
Together?
Yes, we are a unit, as I call it often, the ultimate unit.
We stick together always.
Amazing stuff. Guys, I'm so inspired by everything that you're doing. It's amazing to see young people taking the bull by the horns and rebuilding what it means to live your life as a human being on this planet. It's huge. It's amazing. It's big stuff. It's important stuff that you're doing. We've got a world in which 80% of the people report that they're not happy, and something like 75% of people hate their jobs, and it's time for a change, and you guys are spearheading it. Where can we go to get more information about you guys and Teenage Entrepreneur?
Well, for Teenager Entrepreneur, we renovated our website at www.teenagerentrepreneur.com, where there's a video testimonial, and you can also subscribe to grab your free copy of the 9 mental musts that you need to have in order to become successful.
Awesome. So teenagerentrepreneur.com. I will link that up below. We can get the 9 mental musts of becoming a successful entrepreneur. Michael, what is the last thing that you want to leave our listeners with?
Never settle for anything less than your optimal life. Always identify your passions, because you must act in the realization that they are the base of any future prosperity you achieve. And to base your future success, anything else, your deepest desires, is to betray the inner loves and wants of your subconscious.
Amazing advice, and probably one of the deepest things that anybody has ever said on this show by one of the youngest people that's ever been on this show. Mark, what is the last thing that you want to leave our listeners with?
So one of the things that I want readers to take away is ultimately have to love what you do. There are going to be points, no matter what you pursue, where entrepreneurship is going to get very tough. There are challenging moments. There's sometimes when quitting seems like the easier option. Do what you love to do. You will stick with it and make it to the other and be successful. Steve Jobs was arguably one of the most successful people of all time, and he had a lot of perseverance that ultimately allowed him to become successful. Not only did he create Apple, but he got kicked out of his own company, and then he somehow turned it around, creating successful businesses, and ended up becoming the CEO of Apple yet again. That takes a lot of perseverance, and the only way you're going to get that perseverance and make it towards that road of success and thrive is if you love what you do. That is critical to becoming a successful entrepreneur.
Amazing, amazing advice. Thank you guys for carrying the torch forward for the future and for making this world a better place and making people happier, more fulfilled, and helping other people to make a difference in the world.
It is our purpose, Mr. Seaman. Thank you for your compliments.
Thank you for having us.
I don't know if you could tell as you were listening to the interview or not, but there were times when I was a little bit tongue-tied, I think, because I was just purely amazed by the level of awareness and understanding that Michael and Mark have about the world and what it takes to be successful. And I think the thing that kept running through my mind is, wow, what if every kid that age understood their purpose and understood how to take their purpose and make it into something that is real, something that creates value in the world and pays their bills at the same time, and didn't have to go off and do something that they don't enjoy and don't want to do every single day of their life. And what a different and quite amazing world this would be if more people were like Michael and Mark. But no matter what age you are, it is not too late. It is never too late. The past is the past. If you wish that you'd have gotten started sooner, which is the number one regret that I hear from entrepreneurs on this show and other platforms, everybody always says their biggest regret about entrepreneurship is not starting sooner, so don't perpetuate that regret. Get started today, and if you want some help getting started, go to howtoquitworking.com/coaching and schedule your complimentary coaching session with Heather Osgood, the How to Quit Working coach. No pressure, no obligation. Just listen to what she's got to say and see how we might be able to help you here at How to Quit Working. Again, howtoquitworking.com/coaching. Schedule your complimentary session with Heather. And until next time,
thanks for joining us on the How to Quit Working show. Tune in next time when we'll talk to another amazing person just like you who is now living the ultimate life of freedom and doing it on their terms. If you want to learn how to quit working and get these episodes delivered directly to you, visit howtoquitworkingshow.com.